Hello and welcome to this episode of the We Pay for Your Floor podcast. I'm Phil,
I'm Andy.
And I'm Sarah.
and today we will be talking about hot ham and cold carrots.
Of Tikbalang.
I'll take the line.
For the purpose of the tape, before we start recording, Sarah and I started watching a series of anime with very interesting names.
Hashtag. We should start a hashtag which is just in joke.
Yeah.
Hashtag in joke.
Of Tikbalang.
Cute canned laughter. Of Tikbalang.
I think we'd break the canned laughter button after half an hour.
I remember Akihato for horn honking.
Horn honking. You know what we need? I know, like, this is a very random train of thought, and I shall explain how I got there in a minute. We need a Pokemon called Inside Joke that just appears every time. Because some of the jokes the listeners will not get because they've happened in conversations, and there's just no amount of time on the planet to explain all of them. So we just need like a little thing to pop up and go,
Like a
don't matter if you
mascot.
don't understand.
You like
Yeah.
Clippy?
Yeah.
Like
Just like-
Clippy from
Yes.
what is it? Excel? I can't remember what Microsoft.
Word. From Microsoft.
Word.
It is Microsoft, yeah.
Paperclip.
Like Microsoft Clippy, we have our own version of that just pops up whenever it's an in-joke and says, "Don't worry, you won't get this. They're being idiots." Of Tikbalang.
I was about to speak,
I know.
and then.
Carry on, Phil.
But before that, before the demons of Tikbalang descend upon us through the mighty lightning of the car, Sarah, how's your floor?
Getting into a lot of trouble.
Oh,
With
So
the
that's
law,
With
or-
the law, some issues at school, not really listening to me, frankly, being a problem child.
good, good.
How
Send
did
it my
you birth
regards.
Such a thing.
I would think your ceiling would be a good influence on my floor.
Oh no.
No.
I made
No.
sure it would be a bad influence ceiling. A
It's
rough influence.
The only thing that your floor has got from our ceiling is how to fuck it.
Why are you teaching your ceiling how to fuck
It
things?
just watches us.
So that we can procreate and create more flats for us to expand into until we make the
Ah.
omega flat, and then we will.
Take over Firth Park. Small goals. Small
goals.
goals.
Yeah.
And then we'll have pie.
Cool. Sounds like a plan.
That's what you do when you monopolize on property, isn't it? That's what all landlords are doing. They're
that-
just having pie, just sitting around.
That's what they do in Monopoly, I believe. Isn't
Yeah.
that the rule of Monopoly? You buy a house, you get a pie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've got their fingers in multiple pies.
Ah, you
Look at me with my words.
Go on.
For the
Did you
purpose of
ever-
the tape, Andy is looking at me disapprovingly.
Whilst eating a strawberry lace.
Tick my leg.
While boning the guinea fowl.
Oh.
You have a game for us, do you not?
Yeah, do we have any structure? Please.
Well,
Well, I don't know
I
what
can do
we're
a
doing.
round of celebrity name game, or I can do the topic that I've wanted to do for
Do the
ages.
topic, do the
Okay,
topic.
the
Get me a
topic.
chocolate bar.
I've been wanting to discuss this for so many episodes, and we're finally arriving.
Oh.
My friends, my good friends,
Countryman.
Am I?
reputable source,
Reputable
and
source.
master of darkness, I pray to thee.
Yes.
Pray tell me
Yes.
about your most Karen experiences.
Oh.
Ah.
Oh.
I have a
Oh.
couple. I can start us off if
Yes.
you want. I have
Yes.
a couple.
Go ahead. Go ahead,
Um,
Andy.
I mean, we've already discussed one that I had when I was working at O2. He wasn't a Karen, he was just a prick. Let me
Are they
talk.
called Kevins? The male versions of
I don't
Karens
know,
are called
Gareths?
Kevins. No, they're called Kevins. I
Are they
think.
called
I think that's
Kevins?
like an official internet term.
I'll look it up.
Yeah. Google it.
Anyway, no, the two in particular Karen experiences I want to talk about. These were, in fact, I'm pretty sure one of them did literally say the words, "I want to speak to your manager," which is funny because it was a man.
Yeah.
But we're getting there. Because
Yeah.
remember, people, Karens aren't just women. Karen isn't a gender. It is a state of mind.
It is a state
Men.
of being.
It is a state of being.
Yeah.
Men can be Karens.
Absolutely. You can be anything nowadays.
Anything can be a Karen
Yeah.
if it wants to be.
Yeah.
So let me tell you one of my two favourite Karen stories that I have, both of which were when I was lifeguarding.
Oh, yes.
So those of you who don't know, Sarah and I used to both work as lifeguards when we were younger, which is a weird coincidence, really.
Yeah.
But Miles also works as a lifeguard.
What?
Yep.
Not together though.
Not together,
No.
But it's just a
separate
weird
times.
coincidence that when we were both younger, we both worked
Yeah.
as lifeguards. Anyway. Now, I'll go with the lesser of the two first.
The lesser of the
I still think
Karens.
it's funny. I remember this, it was a Thursday.
Yeah.
And the reason I remember that is because I nearly always did the Thursday shift.
Yeah.
And,
It's a good time to do it.
well, no, it's because I knew what the routine was for a Thursday. Because not only...
Just after Wednesday.
Yeah.
Just after Wednesday, yeah. It
But
always
not quite
always
Friday.
comes between Wednesdays and Fridays.
Yes.
We're very slowly descending into Friday by Rebecca Black. But anyway, so, this was on a Thursday, and like I said, not only did I know the routine well because I always did the Thursday shift most weeks, also, when I used to have my lifeguarding lessons, they were on a Thursday.
Right, yeah.
So I always remembered the routine, and I knew that Thursdays from around, I think it was like 4 o'clock until like just gone 6, it was like 3 or 4 o'clock until just gone 6, the lifeguarding lessons would be happening in half of the pool. So, anyway, this was just before the lifeguard lessons were starting.
Yeah.
And you'll know this, as you used to work as a lifeguard, the trials and tribulations of putting in a lane rope.
Yep, fucking nightmare.
They were annoying as fuck to do.
Yes, they were, yes.
So, this is a Thursday, we know the lifeguard lessons are coming, they're starting in about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
If not, I can't remember how long it was like half an hour, 20 minutes, it can't have been much more than that. So, the pool, at this point, had no lane ropes in it.
Right.
Because we knew that for around 4 o'clock-ish, we'd have to put one in.
Yeah.
And before then, I can't remember what happened before then, but I know it did not require a lane rope.
Yeah.
So basically, the logic we ran by was, even though we had like an hour of public swimming before the lifeguard lesson started,
Yeah.
it was a case, it might have been 45 minutes, it wasn't that long. The way that our staff used to work, the way that our duty managers like told us to run a Thursday was basically, you're gonna have to put this rope in for about 4, so just don't, for this one public swimming session, don't put a rope in, because what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to take it out, put it in the end, so that they've got the one lane for just, you know, swimming laps, and then you're gonna have to unscrew it all, and then move it over, and then screw it all back in.
It screws into a
And
thing
it's
in the
just gonna,
side.
it's just gonna take even longer.
Yeah.
So just get the rope out before the lesson and put it in where it needs to go, because it went in about halfway in the pool.
Yeah.
This lady came up to us. Now I'd seen her there a lot of times, so she must have been a regular.
Yeah.
And you know what the funny thing is? Genuinely, she looked a bit like your mum. I remember she looked a bit like your mum. Obviously it wasn't your mum.
Obviously
but
stunning.
like she looked a bit like her.
Yeah.
And she came up to me, and she went, "Oh, excuse me, I want to go lane swimming." She probably didn't have that voice. That's just the voice that I imagine her having.
Karen, yeah.
Also, she did have a Karen haircut as well, a little bit.
Ah, right. Okay.
Your mum doesn't have a Karen
No,
haircut,
she
just to
doesn't have a
clarify.
Karen haircut, yeah.
But yeah, so she goes, "I want to go lane swimming," and I was like, "Well, you can do, but we're not putting a lane in right now." She went, "But I want to go lane swimming," and I said, "Look, we've got lifeguarding lessons starting at around 4, so it's only about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
If we put a lane rope in now, then by the time it's in, we're going to have to mess about unscrewing it all just to move it over again, and then you're not even going to be able to stay in this part of the pool. So just swim wherever you want.
Yeah.
Just, you know,
Swim in a straight line.
Swing in a straight line. Just stick to your area.
Yeah.
If anyone gets in your way, let us know. We'll obviously just explain. You know, this is, you know, people are doing just laps here. So please, if you're gonna play, go in the other side of the pool, because you know it's a normal sized pool. There's space. But we're not putting a lane rope in right now, because we're going to have to faff about moving it. But I want to go lane swimming!
Oh my god.
I understand you want to go lane swimming, but we're not putting a lane rope in for... But I want... And she was just adamant that she wanted to go lane... Yeah, she just wanted to go lane swimming. And we were like... I didn't say this exact wording to her, but basically what I was trying to say was, look, you are the only person here wanting to do that right now. I'm not taking a rope out for you and putting it in which takes quite a bit of time because you've got to pull it off the rail,
Yeah.
you've got to get someone else to get the other end, and this is a Thursday afternoon, we're not the busiest staff at this point because it's not the busiest time of the week. So there's only like maybe 2 or 3 lifeguards on at once, and one of them's on the teaching pool.
Yeah.
So there's only one other lifeguard, and then the manager who's probably doing their own thing.
Yeah.
I'm not pissing about
Yeah.
getting another member of staff to come out
Yeah.
to get this rope out and stick it in for 10 minutes when it's gonna have to be moved again straight after. And she just wasn't getting. Obviously, I didn't say it in those exact words.
Yeah.
But that's basically what I said, and she would just not get it into her head.
Yeah.
So I ended up just calling the manager. She didn't say I want to speak to your manager.
Yeah.
I literally just got my walkie-talkie
Not dealing with her.
and just went. I can't remember which manager was on, so we're just gonna use the. I don't know. We'll just use the name Kevin because you mentioned it. So I just called to the street manager and I was like, Kevin, there's a lady here wanting me to put a lane rope out because she wants to go lane swimming. She's the only one here doing it. Do I put it in for her or do I just wait, and do I just do what we normally do and wait until the lifeguard lesson starts? And he just went, wait.
Yeah.
We're not bending to her will, just wait and do it how we normally do. And then I had the satisfaction of putting the walkie-talkie down and saying, so I don't know if you just heard that, but my manager's told me that I'm not putting a lane rope in right now.
Yeah.
So you're just going to have to stick to your part of the pool.
Yeah.
And then when the lifeguard lessons start, you're going to have to move to that side of the pool. And that was it, I just left her to it.
Yeah.
She was annoyed, but I was like, you know what? Fuck you.
The entitlement of just repeating yourself to try and get what you want. Do you know what I mean? But I want to go lane swimming. That's great. I've already explained to you.
Yeah, that's great.
So
it's not
there
going to
you go.
happen though.
Contributions to you and all your kin.
If there'd have been like, you know, a few people, then I think my manager might have been a bit more.
Yeah.
I mean, it still would have been a pain in the ass for us, but I think then it'd have been a bit more like, you know what, if there's like a group of them, then fair enough. But there wasn't. It was one lady.
It's not even that. I mean, Phil, you'll know this as well. You'll know this, Phil. You speak to anyone, and
Cliffy pops up. That's
yeah,
an in-joke.
If a customer speaks to you respectfully and nicely, are you not going to do more for that person
No.
than you are for a character?
No.
I do. I would
Yeah,
go
I
out of
would.
my way. If someone's being fucking reasonable, then I would go out of my way to help them. I don't have to go out of my way. If I have a Karen call through and go blah 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 blah, I'm like, and no help for you.
No,
I'm doing the bare minimum.
I've reached the point where I'm so jaded now,
So
where
jaded.
I will do the bare minimum with normal customers,
Yeah.
and then anyone who is even the slightest hint of an arse, I will deliberately try to just get rid of them.
Yeah.
Just no. Just oh, what? You're not happy that I can't give you the latest fucking iPhone for £19 a month with unlimited everything?
Yeah.
EE can do it, can they? Right. Okay.
Go to them then.
So what you're going to do about it is, what do you want me to do about it? I can't do anything with that. But you can do. That's nice. And I just leave it,
Yeah.
silence,
Yeah.
and see how long the silence can build.
Yeah.
And we're not supposed to, as you probably know,
Yeah.
we're not supposed to leave long
Yeah.
silences on the call,
I do.
but I will, and I win, because the customer will then have to talk, whether it's giving in or saying that they're not bothered, or even just checking if I'm still alive.
Yeah.
Is, yeah. I have no inclination to do anything for you, and because you're an arse, I have even less.
Exactly.
Let me do my second one, and then we'll move on to your
Go on,
experiences.
I'm listening.
So the second one. So me and Lizzie actually have names for these two characters because for some
Right.
reason they became sort of jokey characters between us. She's Lane Lady, and then
Right.
this second one, which happened like I'm pretty sure less than like a fortnight later. It wasn't
Yeah.
that much later
It was a
after
Karen
Lane
month.
Lady.
Yeah.
It was just a Karen month apparently. This is Douche Dad, as we call him.
Douche
So, and I
dad.
might have told you this story before, but I love this story.
Yeah.
So, this might have also been on a Thursday. I've just realised.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure this was when the pool was split in half. I remember the pool being split in half because all of the public swimmers were in like the left-hand side.
Did you
Yeah.
have Moses in or something?
Yes, that was the duty manager for the day.
Ah.
Moses the juicy
Susan, Kevin,
A great
Conrad,
lifeguard.
and Moses.
How great would Moses as a lifeguard, though, is a sentence I never thought I'd said to myself.
That's the title for the episode.
How
How great would Moses be as a lifeguard?
Not to fishers, though.
I don't know.
Drowning!
I don't know. I think you can move the fish with, because at least in all the few film adaptations that I've seen or pictures of
Yeah.
the parting of the Red Sea, you don't really see any fish
That
flopping
is true.
around on the ground.
So
So
are we
maybe they're sensible and they move with the water.
I was just about to say, does he have power then over all sea creatures
Like
and
Aquaman.
the sea? So he's Aquaman. Moses is Aquaman.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm
Great
pretty
conspiracy
sure
resolved.
the tampons have made Moses redundant. They created
Oh my
parting the Red
God.
Sea.
Oh my god. you know those two people in my brain?
Yeah, the two.
The two
Yeah.
people functioning in
In
my
the
entire brain.
boardroom,
In the boardroom.
opposite side of the table.
One went, the other one went, I don't get it. And the other one went, he meant period. And the other went, oh.
And then they both went,
So, Moses, Aquaman, go. on the subject meter, that sort of like came away a bit.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Moses is a lifeguard.
Yeah,
You
so
were saying?
we're in the public part of the pool. A family have come in, they've been here for about maybe 20, 25 minutes at this point.
Yeah.
And and obviously this probably would have worked the same as for you back when you were lifeguard and what pool you're at, where you work on, at least our place was a 20-minute rotation.
20-minute rotation.
So you do 20 minutes on the main pool, 20 minutes on the baby pool, teaching pool, whatever you want to call it, and then 20 minutes off the pool side, unless it was particularly busy.
Yeah.
If it was really busy, then we had 20 minutes at the bottom of the main pool, 20 minutes at the top of the main pool, 20 minutes on the teaching pool. So you had an hour on the pool side, then 20 minutes off.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I've just come on for my 20 minutes rotation. I've been there for about maybe 2-3 minutes at this point. Why are you laughing at 20-minute rotation, Phil?
Not that.
What are you laughing at?
You just come on.
No.
Oh, Philip.
Oh, Philip.
Is that your Red Sea? You need passing.
Anyway, so it's my 20-minute rotation. I've been on for a few minutes at this point.
Wait,
Phil.
are we saying that Moses also has power over blood? Is he a lifeguard of the vagina now? Is that what Moses is?
So Sarah, your vagina!
Yeah, we've not talked about the vagina for a while. Is that what we're saying? Moses' vagina?
Is that what Chris calls his penis?
Ah!
Because he farts.
No! Andrew!
I'm so sorry.
Anyway,
No.
sorry, boyfriend.
Yes,
sorry,
let
yes,
me
I
continue.
did that.
You've
sorry.
just come on.
Let me
Yeah,
continue.
you've just
Yes,
come on.
just come on my 20-minute rotation. I'm in the chair,
Yeah.
which isn't making this any better. And I've noticed that there's a kid in the deep end with a sort of, you know those floats that you, the ones that you hold to your chest. And he's swimming on his back, and he looks like he's genuinely struggling. Like, you know when they sort of kick really, what's the word for it? Like, it's not very stable. You can tell he's like just...
Oh, screw kick.
Yeah, he's trying his absolute best just to get to the end. And I'm like, okay, that kid is struggling to swim with a float, and he's in the deep end. I should probably ask him to come up this end and stay in the shallow end. So I blew my whistle and just said to the kid, I tried getting his attention, and I just said, I sort of made eye contact with him. You know that awkward thing where you're trying to get someone's attention in the pool, but you have like they have no idea who you meet, so you've got to try and just stare at them a little bit.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, kid, would you mind just coming down to the shallow end? Like, you look like you're struggling, so please just stay up here. You know, where it's safer. And then this man gets out of the pool, and he comes up to me, and he goes, excuse me, I don't like you having a go at my kid. And I went, I'm sorry? He went, who gives you the right to have a go at my kid? I went, I didn't have a go at him. I just asked him to stay within the shallow because it looked like he was struggling.
Yeah.
And he went, that does not give you any right to have a go. I'm a lifeguard, sir. It's my job.
Yeah.
I saw that it looked like he was really struggling, so I just asked him to come up to this end. He's not in trouble.
Yeah.
If he was in trouble, I'd have kicked him out of the pool.
Yeah.
I haven't. All I've asked is that he stays in the shallow end, because if he stays in the deep end, I'm worried we're going to have a problem. Like, you know, him potentially drowning.
Yeah.
And he wasn't having it. He was like, I bet you my kid has more swimming qualifications than you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, you don't think lifeguarding is its own qualification that I paid hundreds of pounds to be able to get?
Because he's got those tiger badges on his swim shorts, though. You
Oh,
forget
yeah,
that. He's
I
got those
bet.
tiger
Yeah,
badges.
Attached
Yeah.
onto the shore. Hey, if Tony Tiger says he can do it,
Oh, were we to argue?
Yep,
We
exactly.
can't argue with Kellogg's.
Exactly.
Sorry, now I'm just remembering that cornflakes were made to stop masturbation.
Masturbation.
Did you know that?
How?
That is a thing, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. That is
How?
why. Is it Mr. Kellogg or Dr. Kellogg?
I'll look
Or
it up.
Dr. Oetker?
What?
Uh,
so confused.
Kellogg's, Dr. Mr. Kellogg, whatever the fuck he was.
Master Killer.
Lord Kelloggington the Third.
Mr.
oh.
Frosty.
Um,
Frosted.
no, that was his uncle.
Ah.
Tony Frosties. No, he invented cornflakes. Hurry up and look this up because I'm running out of information here. He invented cornflakes.
Yes.
Mr.
Kellogg's.
Kellogg's
That's it.
actually developed cornflakes primarily to stop children from masturbating. He had particular ideas about masturbation, writing, "If illicit commerce of the sexes is a heinous sin, self-pollution is a crime doubly abominable." He felt that certain food inspired self-pollution.
I just need a moment. Self-pollution.
That's wonderful.
That's it. That's what I want on my gravestone,
Like
please.
spicy foods, meat, and generally anything that tasted too good. One of the biggest fights he had with his brother and business partner was over adding sugar to cornflakes. Kellogg's brother had the brackets right idea that sugar would vastly improve the taste of the cereal, but Kellogg stood by his original vision that of plain and boring, sexual desire killing food, so the flakes remained unsweetened.
And that's why
Wow.
cornflakes taste like cardboard to stop you from wanking.
I've never eaten cornflakes a day in my fucking life.
Cowflakes?
Life's great.
Cowflakes! Cowflakes!
I ain't eating those either.
Is that just beef jerky?
With milk. Is that wrong?
Yes.
Hey,
that
hey,
wrong?
no, there's meals you can get which is chicken and eggs together.
True,
Do you know in Japan?
Yeah,
that,
it's called
Mother
that
and
dish
child.
is called mother and child,
Yeah.
which is just wrong. I don't care
No,
who you
that's
are.
wonderful.
That's so
funny, it's
wrong.
a bit funny.
What were we talking about? What was it?
Entitled dad.
Douche dad.
Oh,
Douche
douche
dad.
dad,
Anyway, so yeah, he's saying like, oh, I bet you my son has more swimming qualifications than you do. How dare you have a go at him? You have no right. Well, and I'm sort of like, okay. But I was like,
Disproportionate.
despite the fact that I'm a very anxious person,
Yeah.
because I knew I was in the right here,
Yeah.
I was so just nonchalant about his like argument. I was like, right, okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, I wasn't having a go at him, I just wanted to stay in the shallow, and if that's a problem, then you can leave.
Yeah.
And he was the one who went, I want to speak to your manager, please. And I was like, gladly. So
Yeah.
I just called my manager over, and he walked out. I remember who was on this one. I'm not going to say his name, so we're going to say Steve.
Okay. Yeah.
So Steve, duty manager, comes out to talk
That's
to
an
him.
interesting name.
Steve, duty manager.
Yeah.
Is that the same as
Who names?
horns
Who
on
cars.
gives the? Is it double barreled or was his middle name Duty?
as in JEWTY?
I'll finish this story at some point in this podcast.
Sorry, go on.
Anyway, so
Steve, duty manager.
Steve, the duty manager, comes out,
Duty.
starts having to argue with this dad. Basically, in my defense,
Yeah.
because he was sorry, this man was like yelling at my manager, saying that I was like, cause how old would I have been at this point? Like 17 maybe.
Yeah.
Like arguing that I was this like horrid child who, you know, shouldn't
he's
have
not
any
wrong.
shouldn't have any authority in this pool. Why is he working
Wow.
here? Blah blah. Saying that I'm this, every name under the sun, basically.
Whoa.
And he's just
In
stood
front
there
of his
going,
child.
Yeah.
Well, his wife and the kids are still in the pool at this point.
Yeah.
And my duty manager just stood there like, you can't speak like that to my staff.
No,
And he's like, I
gosh.
don't care. He did. He's like, he didn't have a go at your kid.
Yeah.
I heard him.
Yeah.
All he asked was for him to come to the shallow end.
Yeah.
He wasn't having a go. Like, and if he's struggling to swim, keep him up here. That was it. So, and then he turned around to my duty manager and said, look, he's just learning, okay? He needs to go into the deep end so he can learn.
Yeah.
Like, he's alright in the shallow end. I'm like, and I was like, well, my manager
Not
was
in
like,
that
well,
pool.
that's fine, but save that for swimming lessons.
Yeah.
He needs to stay in the shallow end while he's still learning because we don't want any risks. And then he went, and I'm gonna try and say it as word for word as best as I can remember. He went, well, my wife's a retired swimming teacher. She's teaching him. And then I heard this and perked up and was like, now's my moment. I went, well, if your wife's a retired swimming teacher, sir, she'd know that your son's not allowed in the deep end if he can't swim yet. And he just sort of looked at me, and my manager just sort of like, kind of looked in a sense, like, kind of in that sort of, you shouldn't have done that, but I'm gonna let it go because that's great kind of look. And then he, like, literally, the man and his wife and his kids just like sheepishly got out of the pool, and then the manager escorted them out.
Yeah, right.
And I was just sat there with the biggest smug grin, just being like, what a prick.
So
Eddie Redmayne's come back.
Sean Connery.
Whoa.
So disproportionate to what if you'd have like called his child a cunt, do you know, then I'd appreciate that level of reaction. But just saying, can you move out the deep end does not warrant a tirade of insults.
You know, I think what it is though, I think one of the problems is that I was like a teenager telling him what to do. Because the thing is, like, he did, even though he was shouting at the manager, he wasn't being insulting to my manager. He was only being insulting to me because I was a kid. And I should have known better. Even though, as my manager rightly said, I was completely in the clear on this. I was doing my job. If I hadn't have said that to the kid, I'd have been in trouble.
True.
But yeah, they're my two favourite Karen
Those
stories.
are definitely. I think the definition of a Karen is a disproportionate response to a situation, isn't it? It is like a tiny little thing and then just blowing up.
Because literally, like you said, if I'd have insulted his kid, then I'd have completely understood. But the fact is, all I said was, please come to the shallow when you look like you're struggling. That's not an insult. No. That's just an observation.
I think it's just my personal opinion, but there's very few instances that require you to raise your voice at someone individually.
Oh, definitely.
Do you know what I mean? Because more often than not, don't get me wrong, there are some pricks in this world, but more often than not, when someone does something, it's not malicious. More often than not, either someone's just being thick, they've forgotten something, or there's a mistake that's been made.
Yeah.
So it doesn't warrant you getting personal.
It's why I hate call centre work, because to the other people, you're not just another human who's just earning their living so that they can have money to pay bills. To them, you're just a faceless voice on the end of the phone that they can take their frustration out
You're
on.
the source of all evil in the world.
I mean, they have no like sympathy for the fact that you're just a person who's doing their job.
You must have loads of those, Phil.
I don't have one.
Seriously.
I have another Karen moment for you. How's that?
Oh, go on.
So another one from Co-op then. So I am at the till. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I was quite fast on the till, as you do. Beep, 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 beep. Someone had called in sick, so there's only myself and possibly another manager. But like not store manager, but like just a step up from me, like a middle manager.
Like TL.
Like yeah. So this person, while I'm sure a very lovely person outside of work, was a little perhaps only promoted because they had been at the business for a long time. And so was very weak-willed, and I didn't feel like.
Took me a moment to realise what you said there.
So very weak-willed, didn't feel like a manager. Let's put it that way. Just sort of.
They just felt up a manager.
That's it. Maybe they did. He did.
We're slowly going back to sexual harassment in the workplace here.
But not a manager.
It's not sexual harassment if both sides want it.
It's not rape if you yell surprise. Is that what we're
in the bakery aisle. Then you've got a bun in the oven. Oh no.
Help! He's buttering my croissant.
Buttering my croissant.
Oh no, my jammy donut.
Oh, my pretzels in knots.
No. Anyway, so this.
Oh, duh.
How many more foods can we utterly ruin?
Crumbs.
So this manager.
Bread cakes were topped with rapeseed.
Oh, Andrew.
I'm sorry, that was awful. I'll take myself out.
I fucking wish you would.
Are you ready?
Yeah,
Are
go on.
you done
Sorry,
with
go
the
on,
bread?
go
Are
on.
you done with bakery puns? Bakery
I think we
puns,
rose
if you
to that
will.
occasion.
You good?
We
Now
get
I know
13,
how
we
you
get a baker's
feel.
dozen of them.
This is how you feel, isn't it, Phil? On an almost daily basis.
Yeah.
When Andy and I start going
Also,
with
if we get
I
a few
really
more,
want
we
to
can get up to 13 and have a baker's dozen of them.
Well, we wouldn't want to go through this half-baked. I can see in your eyes it's more depressing when I try. Because you're used to him.
I expect more from you, Phil.
That's what my parents said as well.
I expect it from Andy. Don't expect it from you, Phil. I expect more from you, Phil. Are you ready?
That's also what my parents used to say.
Oh my
Just my
God.
dad, though, the biological
no.
one.
Oh my God! Ah.
Philip!
What?
Philip.
To go to the cinema. And then he put the
Oh.
popcorn on his dick.
Oh, Phil!
I can tell you that popcorn was definitely salted.
Oh no! Cut all of this! All of it. Put it on the outtake reel and put a little disclaimer beforehand.
Always had plenty of
No,
syrup for
don't.
my slushy, though.
Don't! Phil!
How many times did you see Titanic?
Oh no!
Did you get that sinking feeling every time?
Oh, but I did have to fucking see James Cameron's Avatar twice, and that left me fucking blue.
Not friends with you anymore.
Seeing James
No
Cameron's
more.
Avatar twice, that's surely enough for your dad to go 8 rounds. Cut off the face.
Oh god, yeah.
I'm sorry, Sarah. Please come back and tell us about your yeasty team leader.
So my yeasty team leader. He-
Riddled with thrush.
Ladies and
Riddled.
gentlemen, yeasty team leader.
All the people working in call centres are going, fuck them. So, working at co-op, not a very good manager. Basically a people pleaser of the generation that the customer is always right, you know? Yeah. So,
You know what? Just general public service announcement
General
for
public
any
service
listeners. The customer is not always right.
No, very
the customer
rarely.
is usually fucking demented.
So,
Well, that's just you.
we've got a queue of people at the till, and it's this co-op in down that way. I don't know if you've been the other side. You know, near Chapeltown.
Think so?
I don't know.
I know of places.
Oh well, it's a small co-op. Okay, you know,
Okay.
co-ops are kind of like mini
Yeah.
shops, aren't they?
Yeah.
Mini shops. So this co-op is small, and there's a queue going not only down the side of the rest of the tills that are closed,
Like down an
but
aisle or something.
round and down an aisle. So there's like 15 feet of customers, you know? I don't know if you've ever measured customers in feet before, but 15 feet is quite a few customers. So it's me just trying to scan people through, and the
About
ATM
15
machine,
customers,
yeah,
really?
about 50, yeah, a customer, yeah. The ATM machine outside is broken.
Ah.
Okay, so there is a spending limit on how we can get cash back, and it's about £5. We're not a bank. You have to
No.
spend money, unfortunately, to get cash back.
Yeah.
At this point, I don't know if they do it anymore because of the scam stuff. But there's a huge queue, right? A guy walks in. Bearing in mind, I'm serving a customer at this point. Not pushes in front of the customer, but pushes his body between me and the customer. So the customer's here. He comes between the till and the customer. Pops his head and goes, "I want cash back." I says, "Okay, but there's a queue and and it's £5 minimum." He says, "I'm not paying that." I says, "Well, unfortunately, that's that's the rules, so it is £5 in order to withdraw it." He says, "I want to speak to your manager." Bear in mind, I am still got 15 feet of customers. I've got this one person in front of me who's like, "Who the fuck are you?" You know what I mean? And I'm trying to serve them. I
Actually
says,
trying to
"Right."
go around things
I
the
says,
proper
"Okay."
way.
I says, "I tell you what, I've got customers that I've got to serve, so I'll just call the manager, and you can speak to them." He says, "Right, okay."
I'm
So
surprised the guy didn't get nutted if this was around Chapeltown.
yeah. But I was a bit pissed off because I was like, "You arrogant prick," for starters, cutting in line and then saying, "I'm not paying that." I'm like, "All right then, love, carry on."
Fine.
So I'm like, "Yep, my manager
There's
will
a
support
garage
me."
down there. Go use their cash
My-
break.
Oh God.
Shout my
Yeah.
manager over, and he kind of like, the manager sort of like stops me serving this customer and says, "What's the problem?" And I says, he won't pay. He's pushed in line and he doesn't want to pay the £5 minimum. He says, "Oh, that's fine." I says, "What?"
No.
So he cleared the till for this
Don't-
customer, and then said, okay, how much do you want? £5. I think it was like a tenner or something like that. He's like, okay, here you go. And just did it for him! Did it for him! Oh, we're livid!
But then you've got this line of customers who are probably
Yeah.
all wanting the cashback option,
Yeah.
and now they're all going to be like, oh, well, can't I just have
Exactly,
dinner?
exactly.
Don't
So
you
that
love
is how
people
Karens
who
are
just
supported.
completely undermine everything
Yeah,
you've done?
everything I've just said, he's just gone back on. But also, he's encouraged a male Karen. One, there's a fucking queue.
They'll
So
evolve.
stand in the queue. Yeah, exactly. This is how Karens evolve, by managers being weak-willed and just giving in to whatever this customer wants because it's not worth your effort. Yes, it is. Just say no.
We've got people who are waiting to give the company money.
Exactly. And you just pushed. I just could not fathom it. And I remember going, at him, and I'm sure the guy behind, or even went at the manager that did it. I could
But all the
not
rest of the
bloody
customers
believe
are just
it.
like, what?
Seriously. And the person who I served, who then I had to re-serve, was going, you shouldn't have given that money. I was like, I know, right? Oh, well, we're livid. Livid. So there was no justice in that situation, but there you go.
There's very little justice in this world.
Well, sometimes there is. I like to hear that, you know, more and more now you see in video of Karens getting their just reward and police getting called on them. And is it the Karens law in California now as well?
Yeah, that's the thing now.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant.
Is it
Brilliant.
like if you call the police for
Unjustly.
you can actually get...
I love that that's called Karen's law. Love it.
I mean, that is a law here in the UK anyway. If you call the emergency services and it's not an emergency, you can get into a lot of trouble.
Yeah, because
You should do.
you're wasting like time
Police
that
time,
you know
yeah.
in that time that you've wasted, someone could have fucking died who
Yeah.
needed it.
Love it.
Teaching you the important lessons here on the We Pay for Your Floor podcast, and with that we are going to bring this episode to an end. I've been Andy of Tick Balang.
I completely forgot.
Your name is
You've
Phil.
been-
No, that was going to be a callback to what we'd said earlier.
Moving on.
He's been Phil.
He's been
He's
Phil.
currently having a stroke. and
James Norton's having a stroke.
and until the next episode, we will see you later.
I'm going home.
Ta-ra.
Good to know. Good to know.
Ta-ra.
And what else are you gonna do while you're home? Apart from
Watch
masturbate furiously.
anime probably, or do some reading or something. Why do you ask?
You normally have something else along with
No.
this outro.
No.
Bye.
I shall endeavour to be a good neighbour.
Too late now. You better,
Because we pay for your floor.